Alright, y'all, welcome back to another episode of the N1 Podcast. And before I start off with today's topic, I would like to let y'all know that I do write sports articles on Stadium Rant. I do have an Instagram, which is and1, the number one underscore podcast. And my Twitter is and1 podcast 23. And you know what? Let me just start off with today's topic. And it's the All-Star Weekend Review. This is being recorded right after the All-Star game. And I'll get to the All-Star game. That's going to be a whole different rant. But let me start off with Friday night. And Friday night, we had the Celebrity Game and we had the Rising Stars Challenge. I'm not going to lie to y'all, the Celebrity Game was actually pretty good. I was talking a lot of smack about the Celebrity Game, and it honestly surprised me. Final score was 100-91. Team Shannon beating Team Stephen A. NFL player Micah Parsons was the Celebrity Game MVP, finishing with 37 points and 16 rebounds. Definitely an NFL stat line when it comes to basketball. And I want to say this. The LED court is beautiful. When I first saw that LED court, I thought it wasn't going to be good. I thought it was just going to be some type of gimmick or whatever. But in reality, it was actually really, really nice. At halftime, there was this little challenge at halftime where Team Shannon versus Team Stephen A, they would have 3 players from each team, and there would be a little spot on the court where it would just be lit up. And every time you made your shot on that spot, there would be a new spot. And it was just you being on fire. And after that, when it came to the third quarter, the winning team, which was Team Shannon, those 3 players, they were on fire for the first 5 minutes. And they had a trail of fire following them the whole 5 minutes. And that was very creative. Props to the NBA for that LED court. Really. Because that was actually very, very beautiful. But now I'm going to go to the Rising Stars Challenge. And the Rising Stars Challenge was really good. And what wasn't bad, but it was all right. Let me say that. I don't think it was really good, but Benedict Mathurin was talking his trash in the first game, and I love that. Another thing that I really liked was the NBA just picking up on the player conversations and the player trash talk with the mics and stuff. So it'll be mid-game, and then just randomly you'll just hear the players chatting with each other. So that was actually really nice. Benedict Mathurin, obviously being the home star in the Rising Stars Challenge, he was talking trash to Jaden Ivey, saying, "You can't guard me." Jaden Ivey looked at him, he was like, "What? You can't guard me." Jaden Ivey, he took that very personally. Next play, he's trying to dribble, and it was very nice. There was barely any defense, but the trash talk made up for it. The second game was a bit of a surprise. We had a team of G Leaguers beating Wemby's team, and nobody was expecting that. I guess the script writers were taking a break this weekend, but that was actually a really, really, really big shock. And there was more defense in that game than the first game, but I was definitely shocked seeing the G Leaguers win. And then in the third game, obviously, if you saw, the G Leaguers picked up the win again. And I was again shocked. That's insane. It seems like the G Leaguers, they're trying to make a statement in All-Star Weekend, and I will get to that. So Friday night wasn't too bad, but it's Friday night. Nobody really gives a damn about Friday night, I'm not gonna lie. But now we go on to Saturday night, or last night as of this recording. And the skills challenge wasn't that bad. So 3 teams for the skills challenge. You had Team Indiana, you had Team First Overall Pick, and you had Team All-Stars. So Team Indiana had Tyrese Halliburton, they had Benedict Mathurin and Miles Turner. For Team First Overall Pick, well, it was First Overall Picks, they had Paulo Banchero, Anthony Edwards, and Victor Wembanyama. And then for Team All-Stars, Tyrese Maxey, Scotty Barnes, and Trae Young. So Team Indiana wins the relay, and somehow Scotty Barnes and Scotty Barnes and Tyrese Maxey somehow mess up the relay, even though the LED court literally shows you where to go. It shows you, and I don't know how y'all messed that up, but that's okay. It's Saturday night. During the relay, also Anthony Edwards was shooting with his left hand, which was actually pretty funny to me. He was hitting backboard. Some people took comparisons to Ben Simmons. I take comparisons to Paul George in 2020. If you know, you know. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. As I said, Indiana won the relay. Indiana also won the passing challenge, and then it was Team All Stars that picked up the win in the shooting challenge, and then we had a tie. We had a tie, and the tiebreaker is a half court challenge. Whoever makes a half court first in the least amount of time wins. And Team Indiana made the half court in the least amount of time. So there goes the skills challenge review. It wasn't that bad, but again, it's the skills challenge. Nobody really cares. And now the most important, the greatest part of Saturday night, the 3-point contest. So the contestants for the 3-point contest were Malik Beasley, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Larry Markkinen, Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns, and Trae Young. I'm not gonna lie, this was really good. You know why? Because the 3-point contest is exciting. Something that the dunk contest hasn't had in a long, long time. But I will get to the dunk contest very soon. The 3-point contest had a 4-way tie of 26 points in the first round. A 4-way tie. Damian Lillard, Trae Young, Karl Anthony Towns, and Tyrese Halliburton all had 26 points in the first round. Jalen Brunson almost did it. He almost got to 26. He almost did it for the lefties, the left-handed shooters. For us left-handed shooters, he almost did it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Tiebreaker round. There was a lot of controversy in the tiebreaker round. First controversy being Karl Anthony Towns shooting 2-pointers, but for some reason they was counting them. His foot was way over the line, and they counted those shots. He made 16 points in the tiebreaker, and you only have 30 seconds, so that's impressive if you were making threes. And Damian Lillard also had 16 points. However, his last shot didn't count because the ball was still in his hand at the buzzer. So they still counted it for some reason. But the final round was Karl Anthony Towns, Damian Lillard, and Trae Young. Damian Lillard retained that 3-point contest championship or winner, whatever you want to call it. It was pretty interesting, especially the fact that Damian Lillard was just one shot away from not winning. He was one shot away. He had 24 points, and Trae Young had 24 points. And Damian Lillard missed 4 out of the 5 shots in his final rack, making the final shot, I guess, to build some suspense, or maybe he just couldn't make them. I don't know. Maybe a bit of both. But he made that final shot, and you already know what time it was. It was Dame time. He was doing his little signature move at the end, and that was really good. That was a nice 3-point contest. And we get to, right after that, Sabrina Ionescu versus Steph Curry. I'm not going to lie. Sabrina Ionescu, I knew what she was capable of with the WNBA 3-point contest, but this was actually very, very good. Great promotion for the WNBA, even though some people may not see it as that, but this was great for the WNBA. This could give some people to view the WNBA because it's the All-Star game, and I say All-Star game, it's also Saturday night, and you just had a WNBA player versus Steph Curry in a 3-point contest, who she almost beat too. She almost beat him. Now, when the rules came out, she was supposed to shoot from the WNBA 3-point line, but she chose to shoot from the NBA 3-point line. She had a WNBA basketball, but she shot from the NBA 3-point line, and she had 26 points. Sabrina Ionescu had 26 points from the NBA 3-point line. If she shot in the regular 3-point contest, she would have been in the tiebreaker round. Oh my god, that was actually really good. And Steph Curry started off slow, but then he picked it up. He did pick it up, and he finished with 29 points, winning. They had a whole championship built for him. They had a trophy. That was really nice. But Sabrina's face at the end, she looked like she was really trying, and that's good. She was really competing out there. I love to see it. I really love to see that little friendly competition and all of these competitors. Even though she didn't win, she was still happy to be out there, and that's what matters. You're still going to get some viewers for the WNBA, and when Caitlin Clark comes out, she's going to give the WNBA even more viewers. But this is about All-Star Weekend, not the WNBA. And now we get to the main event, unfortunately. The dunk contest. Oh, this dunk contest was... Jaime Jaquez Jr., our very own rookie, Mac McClung, Jacob Toppin, and Jaylen Brown. Wow. I mean, look, look. When I tell y'all this dunk contest wasn't bad, but it was bad, I'm so serious. It was bad, but it wasn't bad. I don't understand it. Jaime Hawkins Jr. starts off by dunking over Shaq, and he didn't have a good score. What? Jacob Toppin dunks over his brother, he reverses it, and he doesn't get a high score. Explain that to me. Jaylen Brown didn't even dunk on camera because these camera angles suck. I don't understand that. He just did a windmill. It would have been better if he threw it to himself and did the windmill. But he was trying to recreate the Dominique Wilkins windmill, but somehow he got a higher score than Jaime Hawkins Jr. and Jacob Toppin. And then Mac McClung, he dunks over somebody. Not only does he do that, but he lets go of the ball, catches it midair, and reverses it. And yet that's not a 50. That's not a 50. How? How? What? Oh my goodness. And then Jaime Hawkins Jr. in the second round, in his second dunk, I should say, he does a 360 with a Heat culture hat on. I don't want to say that was a 50, but he should have definitely got a higher score than what he got. And then Jacob Toppin does a 360 between the legs two-hander, doesn't get a high score. And then the infamous Jaylen Brown dunks over Kyson Atwell sitting down. Kyson Atwell already isn't a tall guy, and he's sitting down. He doesn't make the first one. He doesn't even catch the ball in the first one. Somehow he manages to get a higher score than Jaime Hawkins Jr. and Jacob Toppin again. Oh my God, the judging was not good. It wasn't good. This dunk contest. Oh man. And Mac McClung's second dunk wasn't that bad. He cocks it back, 360 reverse. So that was nice. Mac McClung and Jaylen Brown go to the second round. Jaylen Brown should not have been in the second round. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. And yeah, I'm a biased Heat fan, but Jaime Hawkins Jr. should have been in the second round. But even if Jaime Hawkins Jr. wasn't in the second round, I would have been happy if Jacob Toppin was in the second round versus Mac McClung, because Jaylen Brown's dunks were not. His dunks, he's an in-game dunker. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. He's an in-game dunker. Still though, props to him for being there, because the last time there was a star in the dunk contest was, I believe, 2018 or 2017, somewhere right there. So yeah, there's still props for him, because he was an all-star in the dunk contest. Now we get to his first dunk in the second round. He does a little tribute to Terrence Clark, just a 360 dunk. That's it. It was just like a 360 windmill. It wasn't that impressive. That's an in-game dunk. So I like the tribute, but R.I.P. to Terrence Clark, but that was not a nice dunk. Mac McClung though. Mac McClung, he dunked over two people, windmilled over two people. Two people stacked on each other, by the way. He cleared them. Like, there's no oh, he kind of touched his head. No. Mac McClung cleared, dunking over two people stacked on each other and windmilled it. He didn't make the first one, but even though he didn't make the first one, he made the second one, and that should have been a 50. It obviously was not a 50. And Jaylen Brown's final dunk, it was nice. It was nice, but I didn't. It was kind of sad and stupid. He put some Michael Jackson glove on his left hand. He dunks a windmill over somebody with his left hand. Why? Because he can't go left. He can't do nothing with his left. He don't have a left. So he decides to dunk with his left hand with a Michael Jackson glove on. And then the final dunk was Mac McClung dunking over Shaq, clearing Shaq. Okay, he cleared Shaq. Did a reverse too. It was a reverse slam. And that was the only 50 that night. That was the only 50. That's insane. I'm not going to lie to y'all. The judging was god-awful. It was god-awful. Jaylen Brown had no business being in the second round. Again, still props to him for being an all-star in the dunk contest. But that was no. And you lost to a G Leaguer. Y'all lost to a G Leaguer, okay? Like, no disrespect to Mac McClung, because his dunks were amazing. But a G Leaguer, man? He's not even in the NBA, bro. He's not even in the league. Oh, man, the dunk contest, the dunk contest, the dunk contest. And another thing, in my personal opinion, I feel like the fans kind of did ruin the dunk contest a little bit because they weren't feeling it at all. They were not. They were basically done after Sabrina versus Steph Curry. And like it was just dead except for like two Mac McClung dunks. His final dunks in the second round, those were the only dunks that really got a pop. Besides that, the crowd just sounded so dead. They sounded like they didn't want to be there. They sounded like they wanted to go home. And remember how I mentioned that infamous Kai Cenat dunk from Jaylen Brown? He tried to do the D Brown no-look dunk, but it failed miserably because he covered his eye. He thought he was slick. He covered his eyes after he made the dunk. And the fans booed him. They booed him. Wow. The fans were hostile. And I will get to the fans again very soon. But the dunk contest just was not it. It was not it. Better than recent ones, I guess, but when you're thinking about recent ones and how bad they are, is it really that impressive? And finally, the All-Star game literally happened not too long ago. Final score 186 to 211. The East beats the West. First time that the All-Star game goes to 200 points. And when you combine for 186 three-point attempts, of course you're going to get to 200 points. 186 three-point attempts combined by both teams. This All-Star game was not that good, all right? It wasn't that good. Again, just like the dunk contest, better than recent ones, except for 2020. But when it comes to recent ones not being that good, except for 2020, do you think that it's a good comparison? Not really. Not that impressive of a comparison. Oh my God. I don't know what the NBA has to do about this, man. I really don't. They brought back the East versus West concept. They removed the whole combined score, then add 24 for the fourth quarter. That was the only thing that gave some sort of competition to the All-Star game. And even then, besides 2020, as you see, I really loved 2020's All-Star game. Besides 2020, there was no competition in those fourth quarters. Except for 2022 that was in Cleveland, because that ended off in the wire as well. I mean, Shea had 31 points. That was the most from the Eastern Conference. And he took 10 threes. He shot 70% from the three-point line. You had Damian Lillard, who scored 39 points. You had Tyrese Halliburton, who had 32 points. Jaylen Brown had 36 points. Actually, no, my bad. The most points in the All-Star game actually was Karl-Anthony Towns. That's my fault. Cat had 50 points. He had 50 points, man. The West took 71 threes, 35% from three. And the East, oh my God, the East could not miss. I'm not going to lie to y'all. The East couldn't miss. They took 97 three-pointers. 97. And they shot 43% from three. That's very, very impressive. I get that. But, man, this All-Star game was just like 90% three-pointers. You had Damian Lillard pull up from half court. Curry pull up from half court. There was 32 seconds left in the first half, and Luka is pulling up from beyond half court. What is this? Back in the day when, oh my God, the All-Star game used to be so fun and there was some sort of competition. Now it's just, let's see how many threes I can make. Let's see how many threes we can combine for. Let's see how many points we can combine for. That's all it is now. And yes, high-scoring games is impressive. It is entertaining. But when there's no defense, is it really that entertaining? And I get it. The All-Star game is just an exhibition game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't count. So what's the point of playing defense? But some sort of defense, and nobody's asking for like face-to-face, like just suffocating defense. I'm not asking for that. But some level of defense should be played in the All-Star game just to keep some sort of competition alive. There was no competition. At one point, the East was up by like 30 points. So what competition is there? There was literally no defense. I'm looking at 4 players from the Eastern Conference, 4 players from the West, just standing in the paint waiting to get the rebound. The only type of competition there was just seeing who can make the most threes or who's fighting for that rebound. That's really it. That was the only type of competition that was in the All-Star game. However, I will admit there were some moments. Luka not making that self alley-oop, so that's going to be Shaq the Fool. Tyrese Halliburton had a nice little behind the back, and he picked that up with a nice little elbow pass. Shout out to Jason Williams, white chocolate. LeBron had a bounce pass alley-oop. Braun did his signature tomahawk, but that's gonna happen because it's an All-Star game. And oh my God, I just don't know. Maybe the NBA needs to have a year without an All-Star weekend because this is just not it. It's not it, man. It really isn't. And there's no, I'm just speechless after I watched the game. I just felt so speechless because I had such low expectations, but somehow I was still disappointed with what I saw. Maybe when I was younger, I would have been excited to see 200 points, but now, like, I'm looking at this and I'm not excited for 200 points because there's no competition. There is no competition, and they need to do something. They really, really need to do something about this. And Damian Lillard won All-Star MVP, and he got booed. Remember how I mentioned the hostile crowd? Well, yeah, here it is again. Yeah, Damian Lillard won All-Star MVP, even though they obviously wanted the home guy, Tyrese Halliburton, to win All-Star MVP. And honestly, when I first saw the game, because Tyrese Halliburton started off 4 for 4 from 3, 4 for 4 from the field, actually, 4 straight threes. His 4th 3 came from the logo. Now, I was like, okay, he's going to win All-Star MVP. But then Damian Lillard came out and started making his threes. He went 11 for 23 from 3. So I figured out, okay, yep, Damian Lillard is going to win that All-Star MVP. But I'm not surprised that the fans booed him. I'm not, because if I was there, I would have probably booed him too if I was an Indiana fan, because I would have expected the home guy, Tyrese Halliburton, who also had a great game, to win All-Star MVP. But like this All-Star weekend just was good, but it wasn't good at the same time. The celebrity game was more competitive than the All-Star game. Make it make sense. Please make it make sense. They have a 4-point line, all right? It doesn't get more gimmicky than that. They have challenges after each quarter. They have some sort of segment after each quarter, okay? It doesn't get more gimmicky than that. And somehow it was still more competitive than the All-Star game. I'm done ranting. I'm done ranting. I just don't know what next year is gonna hold. Now it's just the playoffs. Now we're gonna have a break for a little bit, a couple days break, resume the NBA season later this week, and now it's just all about who's gonna make the playoffs, who's gonna make the finals, who's gonna win what awards, and that's really it. That's all I got for y'all. So I'm out.